welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining. It is November 16th, 2025. I'm Eric Murphy. This is Skeptic Generation, and we need to talk. It feels like November. It has been one hell of a year, and I am so glad to be joined by my friend Atticus. Atticus, how's it going?
Hello, it goes really well, actually.
Yeah, all things
Yeah.
considered, I gotta tell you, I missed last week's show. I actually needed to cancel the episode because things going on here in Portland left me to the point where I was having an all-day panic attack last Sunday. I just couldn't. I had set up out in front of the schools in my neighborhood so that they could pick up parents as they were picking up their kids. That's fucking nuts. And it just ate me. So like I've kind of been in this like anxious place. And then I talked to you and I'm like, Atticus, how you doing? You're like, I'm doing great. And I'm like, please give me some of that. Like, talk to me. What is going on? What's new? What's up?
Next month is my 1 year anniversary of being on HRT. So I'm feeling myself a lot lately. So that with that anniversary coming up, my perspective and the lens through which I'm viewing things is starting to shift a little
Okay.
bit. I'm going from, oh, this is my first year. Things are in flux and everything is new. I've never done this before. And working to just kind of recalibrate how my body and my brain function with a completely brand new set of hormones, which is very cool. Scientifically speaking, just fascinating stuff. And it's like it's so I can't explain this to cis people because they just won't get it. But the fact that you get to watch your body do the thing that you wish it did in the first place is bringing me so much joy. I'm finding my stride in my fashion sense and my color choices and how I want to dress my body and how my body likes being dressed. So I in the way that I'm choosing those things are making people kind of like clock how I'm choosing to present way easier. So there's a running joke in the trans community that everybody gets the first year to kind of make choices about their fashion sense. And
Yeah,
my year is up, and I think I made good time. I still
I
got a month to kind of figure things out, but
I don't
I
know.
think
I
I
feel
got it.
like you get longer. You know, what's funny is I have way more experience with trans guys. Just in my life, growing up, my best friend was a trans guy, and they didn't know it. I didn't know it, until after high school. But it that I make this joke, and it's probably not a great one, but like the number of trans guys who immediately jump into like a Dickensian dress,
Yes.
like like dressing like a newsie,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
is amazing. Just the thick,
Mm-hmm.
vest, the thick woolen vest,
Yep.
and the cap and all of that, and that's a vibe.
It's a vibe, and unfortunately, it's a vibe that works really well for me. Like when I'm dating, if I see a newsie, whew, that newsie's coming home.
Right? And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Google Newsies, the musical. You will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, and I just want to like protect. you
Yeah.
know?
On the opposite end of the spectrum, trans women tend to go through a phase of like high socks and tennis skirts and uh,
Mm.
like spaghetti straps, and like it's not that spaghetti straps are bad, but there's a period of time where every trans woman has ordered the same tennis skirt from Amazon, and we have all tried it, and I have not yet gotten my tennis skirt.
What is
So
what
I feel
is
like
what is the tennis? Is it like a poodle skirt? Is it?
no, it's a like just above your knee length tennis skirt with pleats, usually with two white lines around the bottom, which is a very stereotypical, very accessible, like affordable, cheap tennis skirt. I haven't gotten mine yet, but I've got 4 weeks until my 1 year, so I feel
You
like
can do
just to
this.
top off cherry on top of my first year of HRT, I have to get the skirt.
Oh. Maybe I should get it for you for Christmas. That feels like that'd be a good Christmas present.
Yeah, I mean, it's an option.
I just enable you. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I think I'm settling into this really nicely, and I'm starting to take steps to kind of plan the first bit of my second year on HRT, which includes um, some laser hair removal, some tattoos and piercings that I've been considering and wanting,
Okay.
uh, new styles with my hair, new choices with my hair. I'm stoked. It's gonna be about.
Well, it's funny. It is a rather perfect time to be talking about trans stuff because it isn't it Trans Visibility Week?
Wait, can you see me? You're only supposed to be able to
No.
see me during 7 days of the year.
Fuck, it's not Trans Visibility Week. Damn it.
I think it ends on the 19th. So I
Ah,
think it is still
we
Trans
got 3 more
Visibility
days.
Week.
Yeah,
It's the one week of the year where the audience can see me.
I brought that up
The
to
rest
V.
of the rest of the time they just see a really, really sad dude with a beard.
What?
That's what I looked like before. It's fine.
Okay. I actually V made the exact same joke.
Hmm.
V was like, "Yeah, Trans Visibility Week. It's interesting. Everybody else gets support and pride, but trans people get we see you."
Acknowledgement.
The acknowledgement, that's it.
They
You
get
know.
the societal equivalent of
Yeah. But it's nice to have a conversation that just feels comfortable given everything
yeah.
that's going on. And so yeah, so you've been almost a year on your
Almost.
hormones.
Yeah. I made my first so I made my appointment late summer of last year. It was meant to be a consult, and by the end of it, they were like, "Yeah, it sounds like you're trans. Do you want some hormones about it?"
Oh
And
God, I
I
love
that
being
that
an
scared
organ.
the shit out of me. It scared that I wasn't prepared to like get the prescription mentally.
Okay.
I wasn't at that space.
Oh
So
God,
I
don't
was
say
like,
that on the.
no, not right now, actually. And I closed the laptop, and then I didn't do anything about it for another 3 or 4 months, and then the election of 2024 happened,
Uh-huh.
and I had a couple friends over to watch the election results because I'm a political science person.
Yeah.
It's my bread and butter. And as the night wore on, all of us kind of like got really long faces and we didn't know what to do. And so we congregated in my roommate's room and just sat on the floor and just didn't talk. But it was nice to be in company, shocked, scared, with literally everyone in that room was with trans, with the exception of one of my really best friends, who has
Yeah.
just an ambivalent relationship to their gender.
I think
Um,
I think I was the only non-trans person at your birthday party, wasn't I?
no, Shayna was there.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
You were in good company.
Yeah, I was.
Um, but yeah, so that was a moment, and then Shayna actually was over, I think 2 weeks after that, and I just sobbed in her arms, and I said, I can't not do this. It could be taken before I get the chance to be ready for it.
Yeah.
And so I got the prescription in the second week of December,
Okay.
and it was just sitting on my nightstand for a week. And I was like, I don't know, like it's ready for me. I'm not ready. I'm not sure if I'm ready for it. Um, and I realized that the only thing I would regret in this situation is not doing it. I wouldn't regret doing it or trying it and not being sure about it and like stopping. I would 100% regret not doing it first. So I was like, cool, let's just try it. This doesn't have to be permanent. It doesn't have to make me less trans if HRT doesn't work for me or if it doesn't work for how I want to express my gender.
Yeah.
Because at the time I was still kind of vibing with they, them ish, she, they kind of sometimes. Um, and so on December 23rd is when I had my first injection. I got my prescription on Chelsea Manning's birthday, which is very fun. Trans icon, celebrity crush, Chelsea Manning. And I was left with a kind of a, huh, feeling after my first injection. It was very anticlimactic. I was like, I thought this would change my life, like within the first 2 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, so it is interesting how hormones affect brain chemistry. Like
Yeah.
really, really, really does. So even me, a cis guy, I have been on testosterone for all of my 30s just because there's a deficiency, and it's a thing that I've needed for as long as I've done shows. And it is wild how much people think is like, oh, just personality, and then you find out no, like 80% of it is hormones.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wow. So really, like when you hopped on the show, that was was it the second or third week of January?
Yeah.
So
I was,
you had been on estrogen for less than a month.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So where
You can see it in my face if you go back in the shows. You can see that my face is very different. And when I say very, I mean very from like oh, this is the same person, this is the same person. Just the way my face is not structured, but it just looks different because my face shape has changed, and my skin has changed, and my hair has changed because of the hormones. And my anxiety level has dropped. My depression level has dropped. It's the best antidepressant, anti-anxiety that I've ever had in my life. So I'd probably continue being on it just for that. I've tried other stuff, and it works to minor success, but nothing's been as life changing for my anxiety and depression than HRT. And so I'm like, cool. I guess it is for me, and I chose to do that during the return of the Trump presidency, which say what you will,
that
I have great timing.
I it it takes some chutzpah.
Yeah.
It definitely takes some guts, and
Yeah, and as the years gone on, it's kind of radicalized me a little bit. This is no, this is mine. This is me. This is one of this is the second best decision I ever made for myself. The first one being moving to Portland, and no one's taking it from me. This is transition or die is kind of like the like radical online position that you'll see in a couple different spaces, and I was like, wow, it seems a little dramatic. Let's tamp that down a little bit. And now, no, it's no one's taking it from me.
now I'm
No
just
one
hearing
is
the
taking,
drums come from your house. Can you hear the people
Yeah.
sing?
No one's taking my hormones from me. Nobody gets to take this feeling from me. Nobody gets to take that identity from me, and it's mine. And I worked for it, and I found my way through it with the love and support of so many people in my life. And so I'm feeling really joyful. I refuse to be sad and whatnot in this moment. We've earned it. We've
Damn
earned
straight.
this week after this year.
Oh my God, absolutely. And you know what? I actually want to take this as an opportunity to put the word out that we're talking about queer joy. You know, it's been a hell of a year, and it's not like it's ending anytime soon, but it doesn't mean that we need to constantly be in a state of, and I'm telling this to myself, so don't of worry that there are reasons for joy, and often those reasons are each other. And I want to put the phone number out there for people to call in. We want to talk to you, and usually it's about what you believe and why, or disagreeing with you. And obviously, if you want to call in about that, awesome. But also, if you just want to call in to share a little bit of joy, you know, let's make this the episode where we can do that. I feel like a group hug is kind of needed and very much wanted. So let me put the phone number out there. It is 412-SKEPGEN. That's 412-753-7436. Or you can go to tiny.cc/SKEPGEN. That's tiny.cc/SKEPGEN. Our call screener is on the line ready to talk to you, and we would love to hear from you. All right. So, you know, this is the first year that I have started like publicly embracing being bisexual, and not just in my bedroom, leave me alone kind of way. And it is funny, the absolute lack of surprise on literally everyone's face, which is kind of amazing. I did get a kick out of I heard a rumor about me,
Hmm.
which I thought was really really funny. And God, I'm probably stoking it by saying, but it really got me because, like, what is the stereotype about bisexual people?
No, they can't choose.
And they're all sluts,
They're all sluts. Yeah, why?
right?
They're just out of they're out of buffet.
Yep, yep. And somebody, apparently there's a rumor about me that when I was at the ACA, I was throwing these massive orgies.
Incredible.
I know, right? I wish I would have gone.
Yeah.
You know, but like, damn it. And also that I like hooked up with people that weren't
Hmm.
even there when I lived in Austin, you know, and didn't like show up until after I like was in Oregon. And I
Hmm.
was just like, this, I think this is ultimate bisexual energy, you know, because I'm a slut through time and space,
Yeah.
you know, which is a great soundbite. But really, like, it did bring me joy. It is really, really funny. I'm just happy to be included. I'm just happy to be a part of this community and to, you know, love and support the people in my life, and that includes you.
Yeah.
So,
It's been a great journey, and I'm not insignificant. So early in we've mentioned this a couple times on the show. Earlier in the year, you and I did a 3-day talk seminar with some folks that had.
oh, Atticus, I think you froze up really quick. So I am going to check and see what's going on there. And in the meantime, I'll also make sure that our live chat and everything is going well. Yep, Atticus is going to be right back with us. In the meantime, hey everybody, do you like the show? Awesome. Glad that you're here. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, let people know about the show. That's how you can help make it, you know, bigger and how we can get out to more people. Hey Atticus.
Hi, don't know what that was. My screen said WebSocket crash or anyway. You and I had a like talk seminar with some people that didn't have a whole lot of exposure to queer folks and trans people, and
Yeah.
as informative as that was for them, I think it was, at least for me, equally informative. I learned a lot about myself and my feelings about how trans people are seen. There were a couple shocking comments here and there that I was like, oh, I didn't realize that this position was actually held. I thought it was an internet meme, and it kind of forced me to confront a lot of how run down that I get when there is just nothing but focus on the oppression that trans people face, because it's basically our only media coverage. Like, oh, this person was killed, this person was hate crimed, this person was etc. And I was like, why am I so focused on this now? Why is it hanging with me? I have so much to be thankful for, and I have so many queer friends that are doing really cool shit. For example, you with this show, um, and uh, V with their projects. I love catching up with V and grabbing
Oh my
food, and
gosh.
we just info dump on each other like quick bits every like 6 weeks or so is our general vibe when we hang.
Like,
It's like drinking from a fire hose, because in 6 weeks time with people with V and I's personalities, so much happens,
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
because we're just constantly working on something, and then that thing gets put to the wayside and we start working on something new, and that happens like twice in that 6 week period.
You know, it's interesting. V picked up so much stuff when we moved to Oregon. You know, people ask, "Oh, how come V's not on the show?" And I'm just like, V doesn't have the time.
Yeah.
Like, no joke. If I mean, V's still out there. You can look. I think V's still on LinkedIn, and you'll see that they are doing 1,000,001 things. They've got a blog that they regularly write. They've got a business that they've been building. They have spearheaded and led groups, you know, in the publishing industry. V has been crazy busy, and yeah, I'm just kind of blown away every time I see them. I'm just like, you gotta, eventually you're gonna hit a wall, you know. But like, you are just so busy. So yeah, I let's see. What are some other causes of queer joy that we can talk about?
I feel like so you see a whole lot on the news about parents talking in school or being against something involving trans children. And I get a lot of queer joy of just seeing queer children be themselves. Like, I don't have kids. I don't plan on that changing anytime soon. Um, but like being in Portland, we have a bubble, and there are a lot of blind spots in Portland, race being one of them. One place where Portland excels is they kind of just mind their own business when it comes to trans and queer people. No one blinks an eye when they see a tall queen and a short king holding hands, or in some of the weirder circles, somebody on a leash.
Oh,
uh,
oh, I don't know if I told you this story, but when V and I moved here,
mhm.
we had the U-Haul. You know, we unloaded the U-Haul. I was going to drop it off at the U-Haul, which is there are plenty of U-Hauls in Portland. I'm not doxing anything when I say it's the one between our houses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm on my way to drop it off. I'm putting some gas in the U-Haul, you know, topping it up. And I look and there's somebody who's bald, long white beard, short denim mini skirt, high heels. And I'm just like, okay.
You're like, I'm home.
Yeah, day one. I'm just like, fuck yes, this is somebody who's absolutely living their life and they don't, seeing naked people on bicycles, and just
Mhm.
it is such a weird city. And I moved from Austin, the home of, keep Austin weird, but like Portland's got it beat so thoroughly.
Yeah, yeah, we do. It's it's just genuinely such a unique place, and just nobody bats an eye. Nobody cares. People can be like, okay, this person looks pretty femme. I'm gonna ma'am them just in case, and then you can correct them politely, and they'll be like, oh, okay, sure, and then they'll just go about their business.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that brings me a lot of joy, just seeing queer people exist in their day-to-day life. I love seeing being able to clock one of somebody in my community getting groceries. I love seeing us happy and out and about, and like
Yeah.
I go to the book pub a lot, and I see a lot of people on dates at the book pub, and it just kind of makes me kick my feet when I see other queer people at the book pub going on dates, and like I can kind of listen and hear how it's going, and I'm like, oh, it's going so well, good for them. Um, but like that's the kind of shit that I love.
Yeah.
I love that we just get to do our own thing.
It's funny. I think in the last year I made a couple of friends who are in the much more kind of mask Gen X lesbian space.
Mhm.
I don't know what caused me to all of a sudden be like, oh yes, he's, but like, it is, I don't know. It's just, it's nice. It is
Yeah,
just genuinely nice. Yeah. So
and it's one of those things that fill my cup, and it's one of the reasons why I'm so eager week to week, month to month, show to show, um, to take calls that are from people who might not have world experience, or from people who are a little bit hard headed
mhm.
about their views and their ways. Just because, like, I get so much joy and fulfillment in this city, um, in my home, and so much like what is the word I'm looking for? A validation,
Yeah.
in who I am. That like I don't mind talking to folks who see me as subhuman, because I feel like a superhuman out in the world. I feel so good in my community and supported and loved, that like cool. I'll talk to you about why you should think trans people are people. That's a fine conversation for me to have because I don't have to talk to you after this 2 hour show.
Yeah. Yeah. Call it community service.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have something really cool that is new for my software,
Hmm.
and I want to show you. I can now highlight comments. So we have a comment that I saw that
Ooh.
it made me smile. CG Dancer is another Portlander and says, I have an Airbnb in my home, cheap single rooms. I host a lot of young people moving to Portland between housing. I love my little freaks, I call them, moving to PDX and adding to our weird. Love it.
I adore that.
Right?
I on that note, the house that I live in is owned by some of my friends, and they don't live in the city right now. They're away on business, and they have been for a couple of years. They will be for a couple of years more. And so they were like, "Hey, Addie, could you rent out the house?" And I was like, "Oh, I can have some fun with this." Um, in a really responsible way, obviously, if they're watching. Um, so I moved in a couple of my friends who were in not great living situations, who needed a place to stay. Otherwise, they would be house poor in the least graphic sense. Um, so now I have a little home, and I refer to it lovingly as the home for wayward queers, because my friends took me in after
Yeah.
only knowing me for 3 or 4 months, because they knew my lease was ending. I didn't really have anyone else to renew my lease with, and my roommate was moving in with their partner, so I was kind of like, I gotta find a place to live, or I gotta leave Portland. And they were like, "You're moving in with us, right?" And I was like, I guess I'm moving in with you. So they kind of found a stray and brought me in, and then I found two strays and I brought them in. So now it's a home for folks that just need a place. And
Yeah.
when one of us leaves, I fully intend on that being the case, that we'll just replace it with somebody else who just needs a space to breathe. Because for a lot of us, we find some solace in Portland. Portland's one of those places where people find refuge from red states or intolerant family members.
Yeah.
I've met with a couple different people who were couch surfing, um, because they were like, I'd rather be homeless in Portland than in a warm bed in Missouri or Arkansas or Kentucky or etc. Um, so it's not that Kentucky's bad. Andy Bashir is fine, but Kentucky is Kentucky,
Yeah.
and there's not a lot of queer joy in places like that. You still have to be a little bit under the radar. You have to watch, kind of depending on where you're at. If can you hold your partner's hand?
Right.
Portland's not like that, and so I do like I vibe with the designation "my little freaks" because I get it. I brought in my friends and I was just like, yes, now it's a really gay home. It's the gayest home on the block.
It is such a different cultural thing. I mean, really,
Yeah,
honestly, moving here from Texas, it's just fundamentally shifted. And my heart does go out to those people who are stuck, in places where, I do have trans friends in Ohio and Texas and a few other southern states, who couldn't leave if they wanted to. Maybe
yeah,
they're caring for an elderly parent. Maybe they are just kind of financially in a situation where they couldn't move, period. Or they've never lived outside of the same town. And so, they're kind of afraid to go, maybe they've got their same childhood friends and that's cool, but like they're stuck. And it's different. I feel very lucky to be able to see and be a part of a community here.
yeah.
But I think seeing each other and talking is, I don't know. I'm grateful.
It's special.
Yeah.
It's special. And for those who may be listening who can't leave where they are, we see you, we hear you. And for the allies listening, for the people that may have hardened their hearts to the fact that there are people that are different than them in the world, because I know there are people listening that do not agree with me or do not think that I am who I am. Um, just live and let live. It's life is too short. You get one, and then it's done. And wouldn't you like to leave the ripples in your pond a little bit more supportive? Wouldn't you like to know that you made someone's life easier and not harder? Like that you didn't accost them on the street when they kissed someone that they loved, just for the fact that you didn't like what you thought might be in their pants.
Well,
It's a little weird if you break it down that way.
I do think that we're preaching to the choir on this one.
Yeah,
We
probably.
have we've got a pretty cool audience,
We do.
but
It's good
I
stuff.
it is it is the only direction to go is down, and I'm just trying to avoid it. You because for me, I'm thinking about moving into the holidays, you know,
Yeah.
and how the holidays this year are going to be tough. There are a lot of people who aren't going to be visiting family. I think one of the great things that I'm excited about is you can absolutely blame the chaos going on with flights for not going for the holidays this year,
Mhm.
which I guess is good. But
How do you celebrate holidays?
oh
Because
my
I
gosh,
know we've kind of touched on the fact that our relationships with our family are different, but there is some strain. How do you try to make the holidays home and happy when you have that kind of difficult and conditional type of relationship with those who you might have considered closest to you at one point?
yeah, absolutely. I had an excuse for a number of years when I was at the ACA. When I was at the Atheist Community of Austin, I was helping create holiday events for people in person who didn't have family who they could go to. And I was just like, hey, I got to do this. And so I just did that for probably about 4 years in a row. I think honestly, being with V has helped me figure out how to set boundaries. And for people who, my parents divorced and remarried, and because of that, I've got parents, I've got step parents, I've got adoptive parents, and it's a big mess for me. But I've always felt obligated to go and help them or be there for any of them whenever they wanted. I didn't learn to keep my own peace, and I found that the people who would only make things an argument for me, who only just wanted to be contentious with me, I just stopped making space for them, and they just kind of faded away. For the family that only wants to engage with me in a very specific way because they're not comfortable with the rest of my life,
Mhm.
cool. But also, I had a conversation with them about it, and I said, hey, you also get to define the kind of relationship you want to have with me. And if you don't want to know about my life or be a part of my life, that's okay. Let's not pretend, you know. And also, I'm not going to be home for Christmas. I'm grateful that I'm 38, Atticus. I'm going to be 40 soon. I'm going to be 39 next year. And I think that most people my age have kids. And there's not an expectation that they're going to come home for the holidays because they've got their own family. And I've got my family too. And respecting that and keeping my peace has really helped. Keeping the family in my life that loves me and loves V has been really, really good for my blood pressure and my sense of well being. And it does mean that when I interact with family, it's a really, really wonderful experience. For the people in my family who are not in my life anymore, I thought I would be more upset. I did. But I think I missed the idea of them
Mhm.
more than I missed them.
Yeah, that's. especially in the last like 10-ish years with the political climate. I think that's not a unique not as unique as not as unique an experience as it should be. Because we've all of us who are in the LGBTQIA community have kind of had a moment where we see people for what they believe and like, oh, this isn't what the idea of what you told me that you were. And it's been really difficult to just kind of be like, oh yeah, that's my grandma, or that's my father or my dad or cousin, and be like, but it's also not them. It's
No.
not the idea that I remember. It's not the memory of them that I remember. And you're just like, fuck, that person's
Yeah.
not there anymore.
Well,
And so there's a grieving process that happens.
so one of the people I cut contact with a very long time ago was my dad.
Hmm.
And it's interesting because, on reflecting on it, like you would think, oh, I don't have a dad. But number one, like I never did. And I needed to be that for my younger brothers.
Hmm.
I needed to be that for all my younger siblings because they didn't have that. And so I just kind of stepped in and did that. But motherfucker never took me out to toss a softball. I never, learned how to tie it. In fact, when I needed to learn how to tie a tie, I went next door to the neighbor's house, knocked on their door, and said, "Excuse me, could you teach me how to tie a tie?" And I needed to learn and taught myself as like a 9-year-old how to tie a tie because I just didn't have that. I don't. Why the fuck am I, this isn't Leave It to fucking Beaver. I'm not, missing something that wasn't there.
Yeah.
I do feel like I missed out on those experiences, but I didn't get them. So what am I sad about? I'm sad for a life that I didn't even live. So I'm not so stressed about that.
Yeah.
I've got some other family members who, one of them who's a pastor, who I love very much, and he is not interested in a relationship with me because I'm an atheist. Like truly, 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 it's kind of brutal. But turns out the rest of the family is finding out that he's a bit of an asshole too.
Wow,
It,
who would have guessed?
yeah, it turns out that the dicks, eventually are noticed by everybody. And just because you notice
Mhm.
first doesn't mean you're the only one who's going to. So I'm cool with it. I really
I
am.
think
What about you?
I think that's a common experience for those of us who found out we were skeptical when we were younger. Um, there was a we'll go into the atheist stuff too. I'm excited about that. There was a time when I was like, I think it was 16, and I had just started to kind of think critically. I had entered my angry atheist phase because I grew up Catholic, and I mentioned this a couple times before. And
Yeah.
I went to religious education classes for over a decade. I did all my sacraments. I was well versed in my religion, and as I kind of I got into this is kind of during the 2010-ish era. So the internet as we know it was just kind of starting to take shape. Twitter was 2 years old. YouTube was 5 or 6 years old. Talk shows had started to go online, and I was like, I should be a good Christian, and I should find atheist debate points so I can refute them and convert people. So I was like, atheist debates. I was like, I'm going to be the exception because I'm
Oh
exceptional.
yeah.
And
Oh yeah. Of course.
what else would pop up on my YouTube recommended feed than the ACA and the atheist experience? And I would find just hour-long shows, and I would watch them religiously, ironically enough. Um, and I'd be like, "Oh, those are really good points. Oh, that's a really good point. I don't actually have an answer for that. Interesting." over just the period of like 3 or 4 months, I was like, "Am I? Oh shit, am I an atheist?" Because I realized that like, yeah, I said I believed these things, but I didn't like actually believe them. I I went through the motions of believing them because I thought that's what belief was, but I didn't actually hold them as near and dear and as desperately as some people. And I use desperately not as a pejorative, but like some people are so attached to their faith, like it will change their life, it will ruin their life if they don't have it. And I never had that experience. Anyway, long story short,
Yeah.
that winter, I felt like I would be disrespecting my family if I went with them to our Christmas Eve mass. And I was like, I shouldn't be there. I don't feel like I should be there. I don't want to take up space at this church from a seat for somebody who might actually really get something out of like the homily and whatnot. And it was a big deal. I made my mother cry on Christmas Eve, and I would the tension in that household that Christmas Eve. I was the problem child. Everyone was looking at teenage Atticus. They're like, "What did you do? Oh my goodness, you made your mother cry on Christmas Eve. It was bad." And then we got to church, and I naturally went. I was forced to go, and everybody would like, "Please stand in prayer," and everybody else stood, and I sat because I saw other people who weren't part of the church do that, and I was like, okay, I don't want to be disrespectful. I shouldn't stand and pray, and
Yeah.
that made things worse. And so I was operating, trying to be mindful in a world that was not being mindful of me, and it was a very interesting, tense experience as a 15, 16-year-old trying to navigate these really complicated things.
What, you were 15, 16 at the time?
I was.
Jesus.
I was going through some crises.
Hold on, were you 15, 16 in 2010?
Yeah, I was born in 95, bud. I just turned 30.
I forgot. I forgot. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
I need a minute. That's fair.
Which is yeah. But it's and I'll juxtapose that with my first memory of you, because I think it was we met at a holiday party. Is that, if I'm not remembering correctly?
Was it October? Was it the Arsenic and Old Lace viewing party?
It was. It was a Halloween party.
Okay,
And that was,
everybody, if y'all haven't seen Arsenic and Old Lace,
yeah.
so fucking good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so that was kind of like my first real, more or less secular kind of holiday experience. And I had been in Portland for just over a year at that point, and I was still trying to find my circles and figure it out, because Portland's an antisocial city, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We like being in our hidey holes.
I mean, it's raining all of the time. We make nice hidey holes.
We do. We have to make it cozy. And it was just so nice and cozy to just hang with you and your friends and me, and everyone was so welcoming, and I was like, oh, this is a much better vibe holiday wise. Anyway, it's just a fun little anecdote.
Yeah, I didn't find out until after we hung out that you knew who I was. That was an interesting.
I didn't realize who V was until I met V.
Oh.
So, yeah, V and I met on like a friend finding app. I think it was Mobile BFF or something.
Yeah.
We were both trying to find like-minded folks, and I was like, V, that name sounds familiar. Anyway, and we were chit-chatting at the book pub, and they were like, yeah, I should move here from Austin. And I was like, V, Austin? Why is that ringing a bell?
Anyway.
I was like, holy shit, hold on. I can't move forward in good faith without addressing this. Did you used to host a podcast? And they were like, I think they were mid-drink when I said this, and they were like, yeah. I was like, oh, fuck.
Nice.
I was like, oh, cool. Anyway, I think I used to watch your show. What's your favorite musical? And then we just kind of moved on with the
Nice.
conversation. But it was a fun little kicker. Anyway, but yeah, when I met you, I was like, oh, I watched a lot of hours of this fella. And it was a weird moment. I was like, why? Hi, Eric, how are you? Weird.
But I mean, now that you know me,
I said this to V, and I think I mentioned it to you a couple times, and I'll bring it up because it's just a fun story. Eric talks the same way he talks on air as he does in person. And so when I met him, I went up to him and I shook his hand, and he goes, "Hi, Atticus. How are you? It's so lovely to meet you. I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you so much." It was just like the soothing podcast voice, and I was like, "Stop, get out. I can't do this right now." Cut.
That's
I'm leaving.
funny. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
no.
fun time.
There's much less of a barrier between what you see on camera now and who I actually am. Back when I wore the coat every single episode and did the, it was kind of a caricature of me, but it's a much smaller audience. This is this is ours,
Yeah.
So fuck it. I don't just need to be arguing with people. And honestly, like, I've been finding more and more that, like, argumentation has a time and a place, but sometimes rhetoric is the worst possible choice. And it frustrates me. And I went on this existential crisis that I've probably been talking about for 2 months now. Just trying to find the effectiveness and the usefulness of it. And it really is personal relationships. It's personal stories. It's connecting with people that changes minds. And
It's not debate bro culture, that's for sure.
no, it's not. And I needed to reframe it in a really big way. And so I think the new place that I have debate in my mind, it used to be this kind of shining exemplar of facts winning out in the marketplace of ideas and presenting
Yeah.
those ideas in a way that people can consume and then understand that these are the better ideas. And that's fallen apart in numerous ways, actually. I just finished a video for Drew that went out yesterday that is even more reasons to not debate the religious right. And it's interesting to point out and to talk about, what are your goals? Why are you doing it? And I think that, did I give you my blacksmith analogy already?
If you did, I don't recall it, but I think
No
for those who
worries.
haven't heard it, you
Yeah,
should say it
sure,
regardless.
sure. So, like, back in the day, blacksmithing was and it still is. It's a profession that requires a lot of time and dedication. And just like anyone who has a trade skill that they dedicate their time to, right? You become an apprentice, and eventually you go out and you learn and harness your skills and become a journeyman. And at some point, you become a master, right?
Mhm.
And like for blacksmiths, they would do something to prove their mastery. They would create a thing that's very difficult to create. And that was evidence, an example of them being a master blacksmith. Was the thing that they created useful? No, not at all. But it was hard to do. You know, and that's true for most of those trade professions. There was kind of a proof of mastery. And I think that debate is that for rhetoric. If you really, really get good at speaking in public, telling stories, understanding and identifying fallacies, and demonstrating that the material that you're debating, right? Like that is proof of mastery. That is the top. That is how you show that you got there. And it's important that to have that, but the idea that that's how you change people's minds, like you might do that if you are telling stories that people connect with. If you're bringing these concepts into a tangible place that people can interact with it and go, oh, this isn't just out there. But otherwise, otherwise this is better. A conversation that we're having together is way, way more useful.
I agree.
So, yeah, people will colloquially call, what we do on here debate. This isn't. This is discussion. This is,
Yeah.
ongoing conversations. Even when I started Talk Heathen, We called them ongoing discussions, and that's what changed minds. Anyway, let me see here. I do want to put the phone number out one more time. I think I missed a call. We do have someone who's getting screened. Let me see here. But I do want to get other calls in. So let me put the phone number up. No, phone number is 412-SKEPGEN. That's 412-753-7436. Or you can go to tiny.cc/SKEPGEN. That's tiny.cc/SKEPGEN. Our call screener is screening one person right now, but then we'll be hopping over to screen you next. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Yeah. The crisis that I've had over that has taken me a long time. I feel like I'm just getting onto the other side of it. But that is far away from queer joy. I don't know, Atticus.
I mean, queer anxiety is adjacent to queer joy.
Is it?
I think so.
That feels opposite.
I had a lot of anxiety about my transition and going through it, and I cannot tell you how many discussions I had with one of my best friends about whether or not I should start HRT. And a lot of it was like, oh, what if I'm faking it? What if it's not right? What if I'm not actually trans and I come to regret it? And she'd be like, Queen, if you had the button to do over and you could switch and start from scratch, what would you choose? And I was like, woman, of course. Why? Who wouldn't do that? And she's like, cis men don't do that. Shaking my lapels.
That's funny.
And I was just like, I'm just not sure. And now here I am, like 1 year on, starting to consider if there are any sort of like actual surgical interventions that I want to take. And that's not something I ever thought I would say, even a year ago. Like that was not something that I ever thought I would want or need or anything like that. But that's the fact of transition. You're in a constant state of flux. You are in a constant state of reassessing who you are, who you want to be, how you want to present. And there's a beauty in partaking in the creation of who you are and having that control and having the ability to do that. So it's cool.
That does make...
And it's born out of anxiety, so I think you're fine.
I guess you're right. I don't know. I feel like that underscores one of the big differences that being trans has over the rest of the LGBTQ community. There's a fundamental shift in the way that you are. Well, no, not necessarily. You're flagging yourself. Like the reason why people don't clock me as queer is because I don't flag. I don't do the things, I don't socially signal myself as anything but just a cishet dude. I guess being trans is no different.
Not really. Yeah, I mean, it's a different type of signaling and otherness, and you'll run into this a lot with some of the queer turfs that are like, oh, I'm a lesbian, but like, fuck the dolls. And on that note, yes, do that. Fuck the dolls. We're great at it. Secondly, don't exclude us because we're the first line of defense. They come for us. You're next. And
okay, hold on. Fill me in. Fuck the dolls. What am I missing here?
There's a lot of there are some lesbians that don't consider trans people to be trans. There are feminists. There have been several callers like this on some of my shows where like, yeah, I'm a feminist, but not for trans people because they don't think that I can be a lesbian. So dolls is a colloquialism for trans people who may or may not pass.
Okay.
So when I say fuck the dolls, I mean they're fine throwing us under the bus. And then to come at it from a different perspective, fuck the dolls are really good at it.
Okay. I haven't heard dolls as like a pejorative kind of term before.
It's mostly not. It's used in the community to kind of like play up who we are and passing privilege. It's there's a complicated context with it. I don't consider myself a doll, but I'm fine using it as a colloquialism for trans women in general.
Okay. I think we've had somebody who has been, I hope, screened. They've been in the screening room for a while.
Let's go.
Hello,
Hello, hello. Who am I speaking with?
this is Jay from Missouri.
Hey, Jay, let me get your information here.
All right.
Jay, what did you want to talk about?
Just how evolution is false, and how do you get morality if there's no God?
Oh, Jay, I
Those are
love
fun
that.
topics.
I haven't had one of those conversations in forever. Jay, is it he, him?
Oh, it's Jesus loves you.
Well, neither of those are pronouns. What would you like us to call you?
Okay.
Jay? Hello? Testing?
I'm assuming it's he, him, and Jay just doesn't know what a pronoun is.
Okay.
Oh. Jay left already.
Did he dip?
He did already.
I was excited about that one.
Me too.
I don't think I've ever actually gotten one of my favorite calls, which is the secular morality argument, and I love that type of conversation.
Yeah. I've seen you have it.
If anybody is listening wants to call in and have that conversation and genuinely opposes my perspective,
Yeah.
you
Damn
got
it.
my number, 412-SKEPGEN.
Yeah, let me put the phone number up there one more time. Let's get some people in here. 412-SKEPGEN, that's 412-753-7436. Or you can go to tiny.cc/SKEPGEN, that's tiny.cc/SKEPGEN. Our call screener is ready to talk to you. We may have that person calling back already.
Let's go.
Yeah. Let's see. Perfect. Okay, I've got the notes in here. Let's grab you. Kina, thank you.
Hello.
Jay, we missed you. What happened?
Oh man, I don't know. There's technical difficulties.
Oh, well, glad you're back. Glad you called in. I'm actually going to leave you to Atticus because Atticus wanted to kick off this conversation.
Oh, what did Atticus wanted to talk about? I seen that. What did you want to talk about?
I'm really curious about like the where you get morality question. So
yeah, okay.
So I know you kind of have your perspective. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions because I'm genuinely fascinated. Where do you think your morality comes from?
From the Creator, God, the author. Yeah.
Sure. How is that? Like, how did you figure that out? Like, what made you come to that conclusion?
Well, my conscience. I have a conscience, and it tells me. Well, let me give you. I'm not preaching to you. I'm not.
No, I don't think you are. You're fine.
Okay. So, as you definitely as a kid, you have to be taught, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right and wrong. But I think we all know right and wrong. That nobody has to teach us, and that goes back to our conscience. Mm-hmm. And what the Bible says, it says that your conscience bears witness of you that there's a God, and it says that the heavens above tell of Him, and nature. I think I'm paraphrasing a little bit.
No, that gives me some information, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to get to the meat of it sooner than later. What about the people that were not taught about it, or who were taught about it and just no longer believe, who lead relatively moral lives? How do you think that goes about?
Yeah, it's very simple. You know, we take the batteries out of our alarm system and ignore right from wrong, just like evil people. You know, I've been to prison. I've talked to a lot of people. They know to do right, but they don't do it. Mm-hmm. Very simple. So
okay.
Yeah, but what about you? What do you say?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm a big believer in just the golden rule kind of aspect. I treat people as well as I want to be treated. So if I have cash on me and someone asks for $1, I'll give them $1. If I am near a restaurant, I'll buy them a meal. If I have spent some volunteer time at a food bank packing meals, I volunteer in my community. I basically just try to give back, and I try to vote for policies that will help my community do better.
Right.
So that's kind of how that's how I inform myself. How would I like to be treated if I were to not have
Yeah.
the privileges that I have? Um,
You know
and
who
I try
said
to
that,
think about
right?
it. What was that?
You know who said that, right?
I'm sure many people have said it. Who are you thinking of?
Oh, that one guy that rose from the dead after 3 days. That guy. But
Oh,
but yeah, but there's no God. Remember how do you
I
get
agree with you.
morality? I don't understand.
Yeah. So without God, I think it actually makes it more important to me. When I lost my faith when I was a teenager, I'm not sure how long you've been listening, but I went into it earlier in the show. Um, I went through like an angry phase. A lot of atheists do, where you get really angry because we from the perspective we were sold a bill of goods that we have discovered that is not accurate to our understanding.
What's
Um,
not accurate? Hold on. Let's get this. What's not accurate?
So the bill of goods would be like religion and the Bible, whatever religion or whatever holy book that you subscribe to.
No,
And
no, no. That's not Christianity. That's not Christianity. Not whatsoever.
Okay, well, I don't want to get lost in the weeds. I'm trying to speak in generalities because
Okay,
atheism,
I
you
just
can
want to
be an
correct you on that
atheist.
one.
Well, there's nothing to correct because there's just opinions there. You can be a
No.
Muslim and can yes, you can be a Muslim and you can find atheism, or you can be a Buddhist and not want to believe anymore. Or you can come from it from Judaism or Christianity or Catholicism or evangelical.
But
Like
yeah.
you can become an atheist from any religion. That's my point.
Okay.
And so the bill of goods would have been the religion, whatever religion it is, and the lie would have been the religion itself. So a lot of people, when they become atheists, are dealing with some trauma about feeling lied to. Um, so when I think of morality, I think I became more moral after I came to the conclusion that there was not enough evidence to believe God, because I come at it from a perspective of this is my one go at consciousness. The atoms in my body are in this configuration for only so long before my cells start to break down and die, and then I lose my consciousness when I die. It's this blip of a second in the cosmos that I am able to be conscious and contribute and be helpful and be around my community. So why would I not do my best to help them while I am here? Why would they not
Right.
do their
So
best to help me while I'm here? Because it makes things so much easier and people suffer less, and that's good.
okay. Quick question.
Yeah.
So you determine your own morality, and I determine my own morality. Correct?
Hmm. Yep.
Okay.
I
So if
so
Hitler was
I
correct in his morality,
I do just want to put a flag out there. I disagree, but I'm happy to come in once y'all have your
go ahead.
conversation.
Yeah. Come on in.
No, Jay, so here's the thing is when it's 2-on-1, it can be really difficult to move
Oh
forward in a
well, just
conversation.
answer this question.
What's up?
Hitler was correct on his morality. Slave owners were correct on their morality, right?
Well, they certainly thought they were, didn't they?
That's a great
Bingo.
question. So to answer your question, um, for their morality, yes, but by my morality, no.
Mm.
And what informs my morality? My morality is informed by the well-being and the suffering of others. If what I do makes someone suffer needlessly, then I don't do it. If what I do makes someone's life better, I try to do it. So my morality is those are my tentpole issues: suffering and well-being. I try to
Yeah.
increase well-being as best as I can and decrease suffering as best as I can for the most possible people.
Did
That's
you don't
my
see the
yardstick.
problem with that?
I don't
So
see a problem with it. I try
You do
to
you do see
show
you
people.
do see the problem with that.
I don't. Not with my morality.
You
No.
you just said that Hitler's morality was okay for him and slave owners were okay.
that's
Christians
hold on,
never
hold
say
on, hold on,
that.
hold on, Jay, hold on.
Mm,
Wait, is
He
that
did say that.
hold on, Jay?
she did not say that.
What did
Oh,
Atticus?
sorry.
Atticus,
I appreciate it.
what did Jay accurately represent what you said?
No, I said that
Oh,
they probably thought what they did was correct to them. Their
Yeah.
morality was correct in their mind.
So
To
Jake,
me,
do you agree with that? Do you think that to them, their morality was right
that's
in
not
their
what
own
I
minds?
asked. I said, is that okay? Is that if you get a, if I get to choose my own morality, then
Mhm.
there's no such thing as morality. Bingo.
Well, morality is subjective. The Bible
No,
itself
sir.
gives you
I mean,
instructions
I
for how to
apologize.
properly treat your slaves. So I have some qualms if we're using the God of the Bible to guide our morality, because objectively,
Let's stick to morality. Let's stick to morality.
from a suffering and well-being perspective, that's a very problematic yardstick to use.
But if there is no God, there is no morality. It's very simple.
I have morality. I don't have a God.
See,
That's
that's
really
your
simple.
morality. There's no standard of morality if there's no God. Very simple.
Yeah, that's yeah. Humanity's messy. We don't have like one universal moral compass. That's why you have a lot of really different religions causing a lot of really different problems, because they have competing ideas of what is moral and right and just.
Okay,
That's just a symptom of humanity. It's not great, but it is what it is.
well, once again, there's no morality. You say there's morality with
I
no
have
God.
morality.
I say there's no morality with no God. I say uh,
So
morality
Do you think
starts.
morality is like a quality that is inherent in the universe, or do you think morality is a condition of the person?
Morality is what God gives us in our heart, in our mind, in our conscience. That is a
Mhm.
God gift.
okay.
But
Do you think based on the kind of things that I've said I've done? Do you think I'm a moral person? Like just trying to
yeah,
reduce
yeah, I never
suffering?
said
Okay.
you're not a moral person,
No,
but
and
uh,
I'm just trying to get an
th-
idea as to, if I don't have a God and you think I'm more or less a moral person, where do you think my morality comes from?
well, that's not the point. The point is, if there is no God, there's no morality. Very simple.
So
I can do whatever I want to do to whoever I want to do it, and there's no
You
consequences for it.
you could, but there would be legal consequences, because as humanity, we've set up guide rails and rules and
Some
expectations for, if you would like to participate in the society, you have to abide by these rules.
okay. Well,
That's
how
how
about
modern
Trump? What
society is
about Trump?
structured.
Is he going to get in trouble? Trump going to get in trouble for
God,
anything?
I hope
can
so.
I
No, he's not. He's not.
can I pop in a little bit
Yeah,
here?
Eric, pop on in.
Cool. Hey Jay.
Go ahead. How
Okay.
you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. I'm really glad that you called in. So
Thanks.
I'm sure you realize that there are a lot of Christians that believe a lot of different things, and so the questions I'm going to ask are to try and help me understand you a little bit better, right?
All right. Good.
Cool. So let's say you have an island that has been untouched by Western ideas. It has never interacted with Christianity. Are they not able to be moral? Like,
Well, Christianity is not a Western idea or a Western. It was in the Middle East and Africa first before it even touched Europe. So,
so
uh,
I
can you
we
rephrase
can,
that?
yeah. I hear what you're saying, and the pedantic I adore. I
What do you mean?
no.
I
I
don't know
love
what
it. I'm
pedantic means. I don't know what pedantic means. What do you
pedantic.
mean by pedantic?
It can commonly be understood to be, uh, you like your specificities.
Yeah, you focus
You
on the
love your
minutia.
details. You want to make sure that things are correct and labeled correctly, and you don't
Okay,
like if
okay. Yeah,
they're
I do.
Yeah, like if you don't see the I dotted, you're gonna stop the whole damn thing and make sure you dot the
yeah.
I.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah,
I like to correct. I like to make the
that's
corrections before we go.
yeah, genuinely,
Sorry,
that's
sorry,
most of us. So like, okay, cool.
sorry.
Let's say you have an island that has never interacted with Christianity.
Uh,
Are they unable to behave in a moral way?
uh, I don't think they know the full truth, but I think they know right from wrong. I
Okay,
think.
so
I think.
so does that mean you
Well,
don't need
here's
Christianity to
another.
know
Let
right
me
from
make this
wrong?
one point.
But
Point.
hold on. You
Uh,
answered something that is super like curious to me.
Okay.
So if you think that they know right from wrong, even if they don't know Christianity,
Yeah.
so you're saying that you don't need Christianity to know right from wrong, at least.
Well, like from the beginning of time, they didn't know Christianity, but what did they know? God. That's why they made gods and images. That's why they said there was, gods. There were from the beginning of time. Man was figuring it out. We didn't know. We were figuring it out. What's going on?
So I didn't say anything about this hypothetical island having a
But
religion of its
that's
own.
historically fact. Yes or no?
That people groups create religions.
That people groups from the beginning of time always said God. They never said monkeys or evolution or.
Actually, no. So originally, from and mind you, Jay, I got to tell you, huge asterisk here.
Okay.
This is not my
Name
field of
one
study.
then. Name one.
I'm
one.
Hold on. I'm just some asshole on the internet, and I don't want I would.
No, you're not. You're a good dude, man. And don't
Well,
say that.
being
No.
a good dude doesn't make me a smart dude, Jay. I want to make sure that you know
Well,
that.
nobody's perfect, but
Cool.
you're my cool guy.
I
like
appreciate it. So Jay, originally, I think what is speculated is that there was nature worship. So not God necessarily,
Okay.
but like a
Which
druidic kind of nature worship.
Okay, so that was a god, form of God, yes or no?
No, not really. So
Well, they said, okay, I'll bring it. The native Indians, Mother Earth, they worshiped the Mother Earth, the wind, the moon. That was their god. I know you think it was nature, but that was part of their god, their creator, their.
okay. So,
I know it's not perfect. I know
No, well,
it's not going to be perfect. I know that.
no,
understand that.
so when you're saying God, I hear a singular word. And so
Or God, or gods.
the point that I'm making is that people believe that there were lots of things that were maybe supernatural in their world. So like,
And they worshipped.
maybe
Prayed to, right?
I don't know.
I think that's very accurate. That
okay.
from the
So-
beginning of a time, that's extremely accurate.
Okay. So
I'm not saying it's 100 and 100, but I'm saying it's a 99 point
okay.
something.
So what? Where do we go from
my
there?
point. That goes back to your conscience. That goes back to your morality. And
Does it?
Right and wrong. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so do you think that like we know things genetically? Like, is that like, do you think that there's just something baked into us that we all have a Jiminy Cricket inside of us, whether we're Christian or not?
Sometimes, yeah. So I think, yeah. This morality, yeah. I think that is, yeah.
Okay, so no matter whether you're Christian or not, you think everybody's kind of got a Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's called conscience. Your conscience. That's what the Bible says.
Well, the Bible actually doesn't say that. That's definitely a construct that has been created.
You can go ahead and Google that real quick. Go ahead and Google that.
Sure. What do you want me to Google?
Morality in the Bible.
That is a massive topic. I thought you were going to give me like a chapter and verse.
It says that. I have to Google it. It talks about. I can't remember how it goes. I think is that in Romans.
Literally, the first thing that came up is 38 verses that talk about morality. So, like, conscience in the Bible. How about that? Your conscience. Okay. So, if a thing is in the Bible, is it true? If I follow you down,
no, you're twisting my words again.
True. You're right. Correct me. Let's get on the right page.
Okay, you were talking about human beings having morality, and you said that it doesn't say conscience in the Bible, and I just told you it talks about your conscience bears witness of you. That you can Google that, and then it talks about the moons and stars and creation. It's talking about a creator, a creation that all men can see. Very simple. And that's where I get morality for everyone. And we all choose to believe and choose not to believe. We all have a free will and a choice.
Okay, so I can break that down just a little bit. So
All
the
right.
philosophy that you're talking about goes back to a Christian thinker named Bonson, I believe was his name. His whole philosophy was exactly that, right? That all morality comes from God, and that when people act in a moral way, they are drawing on the morality that God gave everyone. That's kind of at the heart of. Do you know what an apologetic is?
Apologetic,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. I think so. Apologetic, like a defending of the faith. Apologetic.
Yes. You got it. So there's a brand of apologetic called presuppositional apologetics, where you presuppose that the other person is lying, and then you just talk at
Never
them.
heard of that one. Never heard of that one time.
It sounds kind of shitty, doesn't it?
Well, give me the evidence. Give me the evidence of it.
You want me to give you like the argument that they give?
No, I want to prove to me exactly what you just said. That we do that. Christians. You saying Christians do that?
So the Christians do a lot of things, but this is one brand of apologetic. It's called presuppositional apologetics. It's also called the transcendental argument for the existence of God.
I don't see where that gets back to morality. I
No
don't
worries.
think so.
I think that that should be something you write down and take a look at and then call back on, because basically what I'm trying to do is I'm listening to you, I'm hearing what you're saying, and I think that I can disagree with you so thoroughly that I want you to have the best possible version of your argument so that you can bring me the absolute best you can so that I
You
can
brought
slap
me
that
no
down.
evidence and no proof. I apologize. Zero.
I Jay, I'm actively trying to give you resources that I disagree with that are the
Okay, go
arguments that
ahead. I apologize. Go ahead.
no it's okay. I appreciate your enthusiasm.
I've been a Christian for over 20 years and
Okay.
never seen this. I've studied countless
Yeah,
authors,
so it's
but
on.
I've never seen that, and I've never been taught that one time in the church.
No worries. So I will tell you, as an atheist, it is the most frustrating, awful argument, but it is, the kind of what you're saying. And so I want you to have the best version of what you're saying so that you can bring it.
What are you saying? I'm saying again. What are you saying?
I,
I'm saying.
I'm saying that you're giving us the transcendental argument for the existence of God.
Which can you break that down into layman's terms, please?
Oh no, yeah. So the idea is that knowledge of God transcends everything, and that everyone knows in their hearts that God exists. Also, that God is the giver of morality, and by being moral, we are tapping into a gift of God, and by being moral, that morality is proof that God exists. That is called the transcendental argument for the existence of God.
And so you're agreeing with me that if there's no God,
No,
so is there morality if everybody's morality is selective?
so that is where you go when you're starting to give that argument. I'm just, I'm
How
just,
come you don't just answer the question?
well,
He's trying to educate you so you have more tools in your toolbox so you can better have this conversation. He's not dodging the question. He's explaining the type of trap you might be falling into with your line of thinking.
or
All right,
just,
well,
or
I
just,
just answered the
okay.
don't get any
Okay.
question.
Yeah, no, so I can answer the question. Just because something's bad doesn't mean it's not true.
You
So
never said that one time.
well, hold on a second. Let me give you an example, and then I'll point out why I think that's what you're saying. So if somebody said, right, you brought up Hitler, so obviously, let's use that imagery, right? If somebody said, hey, if the Holocaust happened, that would be really bad. Therefore, it never happened. Does that sound like a good reason to not believe in the Holocaust?
That's not even. That's not even that. You've never answered my question.
I am. I'm trying to give you an example so that I can like show you why. So if I said that, right, if the Holocaust was really bad, and I don't like that because it's really bad, therefore it's not true. Does that mean that the Holocaust never happened?
No, of course not.
So if something is really bad, that doesn't impact whether or not it's true, right?
No, it does not.
Okay, so if morality is subjective and it's really bad, does that make it more or less true, or does that not matter?
The fact that you could choose your own morality says that there's no correct.
And if that was the case, it would be really bad.
It's like a law. There's no law. It's like, here's this law. You choose what you want to do with it. So guess what? There's no law.
So
okay,
and if that was the case,
that makes more sense.
Hold on.
That makes more sense.
And if that was the case, it would be really bad.
That's a better example. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. And if that was the case, it would be really bad, right?
It means there's no law.
Which would be really bad, right?
Of course.
Therefore, it's not true, right?
There's no morality. Correct.
Okay, so you are making the exact same argument as the Holocaust one of it's really bad, therefore it can't be true.
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in, Jay. There's so fun fact about me: I really like roller coasters. I am really excited for this new. Yeah, they're cool. There's a really big roller coaster opening up in Abu Dhabi called Falcon's Flight. It's like going to be 600 some odd feet tall, 150 miles an hour. It's a crazy roller coaster, but I can't go there because I am trans. They won't let people like me go because I would. I forget the phrasing that they actually use, but I would be in contradiction with their morals and their beliefs, and I could go to jail for existing as a trans person. Those are still laws. That's still morality, even though it contradicts with the morality of and the moralities and laws of Oregon, where I live.
That's a man-made law. That's not a God-made.
Yes,
that's a
but
big
it's
difference.
It's informed by their societal morals, right? Because that's what all laws are. They're kind of a codification of societal morals and societal agreements ish.
Our hopes. We hope it's
that's my point. That's my point. Who makes these moral absolutes and moral laws? And I say that with God, everything's perfect.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
If
we follow what he says, it may not, our life may not be perfect, but his laws are perfect. What
I'm trying to explain is that the laws and the moral expectations in Abu Dhabi are different from the laws and expectations of Oregon, are different from my specific morals, but just because they are different doesn't mean they don't exist. They're just different standards that different people have. And just because they're different doesn't mean they cease to exist. Can we agree on that?
Well, that's my point. God's laws are the same wherever you go.
Not really though, because in the United States we've mostly. Can we agree that in the United States we've mostly outlawed slavery?
Actually,
well, let me ask you a question. Quick question.
Okay.
If you go to I don't know, name a country, any country. If you go there, is it okay just to abuse children? And if you go to another country, is that still okay in the same country? In a different country?
Well, if I'm gonna be a little pedantic.
Hold on. Let's answer that question. Let's answer that question.
I have to bring this up.
Please. Just answer that one question.
Listen, Jay, I need you to listen to me. I'm going to bring this up because it's how I answer your question. You want to be pedantic? I need to be pedantic now.
That's not pedantic. That's a simple question.
Jay, listen to me so I can answer it.
Oh, yeah, it is pedantic. Sorry.
It depends on your definitions of child abuse. Because what is child abuse in Kansas?
Unbelievable.
Because what is...
That's the problem. That is the problem.
No, Jay, don't talk over me, please. I didn't talk over you. Neither has Eric.
Sorry.
The definition of
I have a
child
little bit.
abuse.
I have a little
The
bit.
definition of
Sorry.
the definition of child abuse in Canada is not going to be the same definition of child abuse in China or the Middle East. These are going to be very specific definitions that have been legislated in these cultures, and different people are going to have different definitions. So it depends on your definition of child abuse. So
Bingo.
I may think that something is child abuse
You
that is
you
not
you
codified as child
and you made
abuse in Canada.
sorry. You made my point. Thank you so much.
I didn't make
That's
your
why
point.
you always
My
put your
point
faith
is
in
that I have
God and
different
never in
morals,
man.
and you have different morals, and Canada has different morals, and China has different morals, and Eric has different morals. The morals still exist. The
Yeah.
No.
morals are not laws; they are just expectations that we hold ourselves and others to.
Morals are how you treat people, how you good and evil. Morals are abusing. Morals are right and wrong, and I say that God is true in His morality, and we treat every human being as a very, very precious person. And like I said, I'm going to go back to the golden rule: love your neighbor as yourself, treat your neighbor as you would want to be treated, which is a God
So may I?
saying. Yeah.
Cool. Hey, Jay.
Hey, bud.
I think that you and I are probably very similar when it comes to morals. We would not want to see someone abused. We would care about our neighbors, right?
Right.
I'm making that assumption of you, and I think that you're making that assumption out of me. You don't think that I'm a monster, right? You don't think that
No, you're
Atticus
good.
is a
I like
monster.
you, man.
Yeah. So it still seems to me, I'm sorry if I'm still stuck on this, but really, truly, it seems to me like you're saying that if morality was subjective, that would be bad. Therefore, it's not
Correct.
true.
No, I'm saying if morality is subjective,
That would be bad.
it is bad. That is very bad. And that would make there would be no morality because everybody's morality is subjective.
Well,
Very simple.
So that here, the funny thing is, like, that last part, there would be no morality.
Yeah, just like a law.
Yeah,
there would be no. You choose how to follow your law.
Jay.
So there's no law.
Jay, I'm trying to walk you through, and I like.
Okay, your turn.
No, that's okay. I know you're excited here, so let's just try and get through this last bit, right?
But do you understand that though? Does that make sense?
Jay, I was a Bible-believing Christian for years.
I know.
I was a good Christian boy. If you don't think I know exactly what you're saying, you are out of your mind. Now let me talk to you about where I've gotten and how I've gotten here. Okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Cool. Jesus. so
help us, Lord. Help us, Lord.
So anyway, if there was no, absolute morality, that would be really bad. Now what? Right? Because I'm bringing up that Holocaust example, right? If the Holocaust happened, that would be really bad. Now what?
It was really bad. Yeah, correct.
Okay, so if there was no absolute morality to you, that would be really bad.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so now what? Does that mean that it's more or less true? Like, how do you get a true statement from that would be bad? I don't understand that. There's nowhere in my life where somebody's...
I think I made my point.
It's
very simple.
And I'm trying to walk you through how I'm getting to where I'm at, Jay. So if it would be really bad, does that say anything about whether or not it's true?
It says there's no morality. It's very simple.
Okay, so Jay,
I think we're talking here.
I think what I'm getting at here is I think you understand what I'm saying, that saying something
I'd like
is
to
really...
see what the chat says. I'd like to see what is the chat saying? Do they agree with me or they agree with you?
Oh, geez.
Come on, chat. What do you guys think?
So Jay, it's actually really funny. I don't ever look at the chat.
I
I've not once gone into the chat to see what is being said actively during a conversation. Um, I I wouldn't want to because I don't care what other people have to
I
say.
I'm a chat person.
I'm
I got a
I like chat.
I
I like the chat,
I got a cool new
but the
tool.
chat don't like me.
I just don't want to fall into the I don't want to fall into the trap of the chat calling balls and strikes
This
because
is
I'm not
true.
here to score points. We're here to have a discussion.
That's a good point. Okay,
Correct.
then I won't bring it up. Jay, so I don't know where it sounds like you're saying, okay, if there was no objective morality due to a god, that would be really bad. But
Correct.
you're not saying that in and of itself means that there has to be objective morality, right?
Yeah, there has to be objective morality, 100%.
Because
Yeah.
if there wasn't, that
Morals.
would be really bad.
If there's not morality, yeah, there is no morality if there's not an objective morality.
We can argue about that, but like I really want to.
It's just like saying there's no good or bad.
If it was
There's
really
no such
bad,
thing as good or bad, good or evil. There's
Jay.
no such thing. If there's no morality.
So
Very simple.
okay, I think there is morality, and I also think it is subjective. And if you're not willing to accept that, then we cannot move forward on that because you're just not allowing me to have a different definition, which is fine. We'll stick with where you're at, right?
Well,
if there was no objective morality to you, that would be really bad, right? I feel like a broken record because I don't think you're getting what I'm trying to say here.
I know what you're saying.
What am I
but
saying? You tell me. What am I saying?
You're saying there's everybody has their own moralities.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, then you're saying that morality is if people don't have it, it's bad.
No.
All right.
No.
All right. Just tell me what you're saying.
No worries. Okay, so I'm trying to. Do you know what the difference is between straw manning and steel manning?
Yeah, straw manning is. Oh, go ahead. Explain to me. Everybody has different definitions.
Fair enough. A straw man is a really, really bad example of somebody, and it's something easy to attack because you just pretend that it's a real person, right?
Right.
A steel man is giving your best, doing the absolute best you can to accurately represent what the other person is saying. I'm trying to accurately represent what you're saying. I'm trying to steel man your position. And what you're saying is that if there was no objective morality, that would be really bad. And that is exactly the same as somebody saying if there was a Holocaust, that would be really bad. So where do you go from there? Like if it was really bad, does that mean it wasn't true? Does that mean that that's not the case? Right?
No morals. So you think having no morals is that's reality?
I think that the Holocaust happened and that's reality. Do I want that to have happened? Fuck no. Would I love for there to be an objective reality or an objective morality? Sure, absolutely. But there's not. So here we are.
So there's no such thing as good or evil.
It's good and evil are defined as how you define them.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like as
that's my point again.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna spawn us off into a different direction here because I'm really trying to keep you here.
Thing.
No, it's not, Jay.
It's not.
It's not.
So moralities are not good. Morality is good, yes or no?
Morality is great.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump in and
so
say
having no morality is that bad?
Morality is a term that has a definition. It is not good or bad. It's meant as a descriptor. It's something that we assign to
good or bad. Correct.
Hey Jay, terms and words have different meaning. Like
no,
if I just
they
say
don't.
the word,
That's where we disagree again.
Jay, whoa, stop! You just said that words don't have meaning. That's an insane thing to say, and I think
you said.
No, Jay, you're not going to talk over me right now. I have to interject. If I say the word hair does not mean good or bad. It just means that I have hair. You may or may not have hair. Eric has some hair. My uncle might be bald. It is a term used for the cells that grow out of the pores on my head. Morality is a word that is used to describe the values and judgments that we hold dear to our hearts. It is not a thing. It's not an item. It's not physical. It's just a descriptor term. And it
Unbelievable.
exists whether or
Unbelievable.
not you like it or whether or not you agree with it. But everybody has their own morality. And part of the human experience on this planet is discussing those items and trying to make it the best possible version of it. And looking back at people's morality in the past, for example, slavery or the Holocaust or whatever, and go, hey, that probably wasn't very good. So let's do our best to avoid that and be better in the future and
But
improve our morals.
and
But
also,
morality
There is
itself
no
is a term.
morals. There is no
It's
morals,
just
remember?
I'm glad that you agree.
are.
Jay agrees with us. We've changed his mind.
cool. Thank you.
Jay,
Correct. Yeah.
Jay.
I was correcting you. You said words don't have meaning.
Jay.
No,
Which is
you were
No,
you
no,
were
totally
correcting me.
false.
You
hold
were
on.
correcting me, and we corrected you. I'm glad we had this conversation.
Okay, one last thing, and then I'll let you go. I really, really want you to look into presuppositional apologetics, not because I think it's
Okay.
good, but because I think that it will give you the best version of the argument. So when I slap it down, it'll be that much better. So check that out. I want to. I'm gonna take the position of a Muslim for a moment, just to give you an example of what Atticus is telling you.
Oh, okay. Good.
Cool.
Okay.
So, I was watching an interview. Somebody was asking a Muslim man, "Why are you against girls going to school?" And they said that education makes women slutty, and they're more likely to be promiscuous the more educated they are. Therefore, the best thing that they can do is to prevent women from getting educated so that they don't become sluts, because then they'll be more likely to go to heaven. So,
Yeah.
is education bad for women, Jay?
Well, that's a form of brainwashing. I would say that 100%.
So I agree, and I think you're brainwashed in the same way. But regardless, do you
but you
think?
can't be. You could be brainwashed for good or bad. That's two different things.
Well, that's a totally different thing that I would have a beer with you about, but probably not get into that one.
Okay.
Oh gosh, that's a rabbit trail, Jay, that I would follow forever. Forever. Don't do that to me. So, like, do you think that education for women is good or bad? Because
Everybody should be educated.
Okay,
I wish
but
everybody knew everything.
But to a Muslim, they would say that educating a woman is bad.
Right. That's because their Quran is false.
Okay, Jay, it's.
Oh,
I hear what you're saying, and I wish that there were enough hours in the day. What I would love for
Sure.
you to do is I would love for you to, that big clump of grapes that you are pulling from, see if you could pull just one grape, and then call back
Okay.
in, and we'll do a different grape each time. That way we can focus on individual things. Okay.
Can you do a poll on morality? Is it subjective?
Sure.
Please.
I would be
Please.
happy to put a poll out on
You're the
morality.
best. I
today
love
on the
you
show.
guys, man. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, take care,
Appreciate
brother.
you.
Have a good one.
Have a great
Good
day.
talking with you. Bye, Jay. And just because it's not going to derail the conversation anymore, I have to say,
Please.
the Bible teaches you how to treat your slaves if you wish to be a moral slave master. His own book is dog shit at describing morality. And I'm sorry, Jay. I know if you're still listening, at least this is not a judgment call on you, but like,
Well, also it depends on the Christian, because
It does.
because there are a lot of progressive Christians who would say that those were the Mosaic laws, and that the laws of Moses, which is where the ethical treatment of morals, or ethical treatment of slaves for them, is. And so when Jesus came, he did away with all of the laws of Moses and
and then we run into the fact
and
that
created a new
they have a
covenant.
God that changed their mind. And if their God was at one point wrong, why the fuck wouldn't he be wrong about anything else?
Right.
I'm preaching to the choir, sorry.
And also, they'll selectively forget that Jesus said, "Slaves, be good to your masters." So, like,
Yeah.
I get it, but also, I don't know about you, but when I was a believer, we had a term called cafeteria Christians.
Oh, I've heard it.
Yeah, when people would treat Christianity like a buffet and they'd only pick and choose what they want. That honestly feels like the way that gets talked about. It's very difficult to pin them down, but I have found the most success in making them define it so that I'm not just accusing them of a thing that they don't necessarily believe his doctrine. That said, Atticus, can you remind me to put out that poll? I'd be happy to put out that poll on the channel today.
Sure.
Yeah. I think I'd love to hear what other people have to say about it. Are you going to be hopping into the after show?
I will for a little bit. My brain is just kind of still flustered with the fact that anybody would want to use a 2 millennia old book for any sort of moral instruction, or like it's just it to me it boggles my mind that that would ever be considered a good idea. And maybe I'm just too far removed from my religious upbringing. I'm shocked in like the best way on this show sometimes.
I think that when people bring it up, it's a hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
And what blows my mind is like, I wondered that. You know, on my way out of the faith, I was just like, okay, but if there's no God, then there's no morals. I went on that path. And the way that I got through it is I took a step back because I was genuinely spiraling out. And I was just like, okay, but what about everything that currently exists? Because like, we're not in a vacuum. We do behave morally to each other. We still live in a world that we live in, right? You don't need to reinvent morality for the universe. That, you know, what exists now. We've been able to create this, what we have. And that helped make me feel a little bit more grounded. But it would be nice if there was an absolute morality, but I don't think that we're anywhere close to it. I can absolutely imagine that in 500 years, people are going to look back at our time and be like, can you believe those animals?
We can only help.
I really, really hope. I really, really hope.
I'm so excited to be wrong historically, like, because that means that we've done the work for other people to climb on our shoulders and call themselves tall. Like, that is what I want. I want to be able to be wrong so that other people can be right.
Sure.
In the future.
Hey, Atticus.
Yeah.
Do you think that the arc of history genuinely does point towards things getting better?
I think it depends on the society. I don't know if it always does. I think it does if we are able to keep history and facts and logic and general well-being at the forefront. But if we refuse to keep those things at the forefront, if we refuse to like learn from the past, then it can bend the other way really quickly. It's been a trend over the last 6,000-7,000 years of human history that it does get better. There are tentpole events that kind of bend it toward one way more than the other.
You know,
I don't know if it's forever that way though.
Yeah. Like we talk about things like slavery as though we're past it, but I just recently saw a thing regarding H-1B visas. Mm-hmm. Basically, people who legally go through the channels to come to the United States to do manual labor. You know, like you apply, you get your specific work visa, you come and you do the work, right? That program has been rife with fucking literal slavery for a really long time. In fact, last year there was a whole slate of anti-slavery laws to get like a handle on it. And it's talked about that a reason a lot of farmers actually voted for Trump is because he was going to chill out on the anti-slavery laws. And did.
It's going to blow your mind when I tell you that in 2022, Oregon banned slavery. Because at the federal level, it's not banned in the United States. Slavery is still legal under certain conditions, one of them being imprisonment. If you're imprisoned, you're not protected from being an indentured servant, according to our Constitution. So the fact that it's up to the state level to decide that is horrifying.
This is a goddamn third world country. We started this episode talking about queer joy.
I'm so joyful, Eric. You have no idea.
I know, and I really need that in my life, and I'm really glad that you're in my life. I'm glad that you can be an example of people who are living their life the way they want to, because that is who you are, and I celebrate you. You know, I'm grateful for it, and if anybody is watching who's in the closet, you probably have your reasons for being there, but there is community and care that can be found on this side of things.
And when it's safe, sprint out of the closet. Once it's safe, sprint. Don't do what I did. I did this so measured. I was so cautious and careful, and I needed that at the time. I just wasn't sure about a whole lot of shit. But I cannot tell you how much my life would be different if I had done this and had the words for it 5 years sooner. If I did this 1 year ago, my life would be like, I did do it 1 year ago, more than 1 year ago. My life would have been so much different.
Okay. If we stay on, I'm going to have a whole conversation with you about performative allyship. And I don't think we're going to.
That could be fun for my next show.
Do you want to talk about performative allyship?
Quite possibly.
Oh God, we're going to upset people.
We would have to kind of flesh it out, but I'd be interested in pulling that string.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Oh. One other thing before we go. Right. I do need to read super chats, but also, have you read Judith Butler?
Not as of yet.
So I've been learning about Judith Butler, and like we were having the 101 level conversation about objectives being, or morals being objective, and all of that, right? And you were talking about how morals kind of are socially constructed.
Yeah.
There's a whole line of reasoning. I believe it's Judith Butler who is saying that everything is socially contextual, that without social context, nothing, literally nothing makes sense. That we require each other for the world to have any discernible like meaning. And that's fucking crazy. Anyway.
Sounds like someone I should read. I very much subscribe to that thought process.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like you'll have more bull-dyke lesbian friends if you read Judith Butler.
Don't threaten me with a good time, Eric. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Right. All right. So let me see here. I want to see if I can get some of these up on the screen, because we can, and I think that's really cool. So let's start with this one. This is from the Fuzzy Logic, sent £5 and said, hands doing a high five. I do not understand, but thank you for the £5. This is going to take a while. Let me try to. I see Atheopagan, who sent $20 and then dropped off. I don't know what happened. Oh, that's okay. I'll figure it out. Fuzzy Logic sent £5, says, congrats, Atticus. CG Dancer sent $20. Thank you, CG, and says, just supporting. Thank you. The Fuzzy Logic sent $50. Thank you. And says, to safety, to community, to joy.
L'chaim.
Yeah. Atheopagan, there we go. $20 says, tell Jay I would love to speak with him. Well, let's see if Jay hops into the after show. And Q sent $2. Thank you, Q. And says, morality is subjective. Moo. Oh my gosh. DJ Megan Satanas sent $5. Thank you. Says, I probably owe you this at some point. Or I probably owe you this at this point. Oh, thank you. That's very, very sweet. Everything that you do send into the show goes right back into it. Look, this is a small show. It's not got a huge viewership. It is more community than anything. Come and join us in the after show. The link is in the description, and we'd love to see you there. The show is making almost enough to support itself. And honestly, there's been a big shift. Our call screeners are now on standby. They're not staying on the line. They get a call when a caller comes in and takes it. And that has dramatically dipped down how much it's cost for us to do call screening. So like, we're getting through But really, we're doing it for the love of it. We're doing it for the community that we're growing so that we can be here and enjoy this and have this with each other. And I'm truly grateful for it. If you want to support the show, consider becoming a patron. Patreon.com/skepticgeneration. That's patreon.com/skepticgeneration. Atticus, how can people find you?
I'm on Blue Sky at Atticus. I need to memorize this fucking thing. It's atticuslin.bluesky.social. You can also find me on TikTok under Atticus Things. I talk about shit that interests me at any given time or day, but that's usually the only socials that I use.
Wonderful. Atticus, as always, I love talking to you. I'm going to be heading to the after show. Are you going to be there?
I'll be there for a bit. Yeah.
Cool. I'll see you there, everybody. Until next time, I'm Eric Murphy.
And I'm Atticus Lin.
This is Skeptic Generation.
I'm glad we had this talk.